Hey, it is April the 3rd, 2024, and I'm exactly on time. Yeah, I knew it. I knew I'd make it. All right, so the beginning or the title of this broadcast, I believe is the question, is this really the end? Now, I don't know if you saw the description on coming in here, but hell yeah, it's the end, dude. It's the end. And I realize sometimes I say things that's a little bit extreme, and it might even seem like just rhetoric. It ain't the end. And I realize that'd probably be shocking and jarring to some people, or at least just disconcerting, uncomfortable. All right, the truth of it. But we are approaching, and so might as well say goodbye, and kiss that ass goodbye. All right, because who knows the possibilities in these what appear to be end times. About, I don't know, 3 weeks ago ish or so, your boy right here, he caught a stomach flu, and I don't know what to blame. All right. Certainly, there are people running around giving people this stomach flu. I've been hearing about it going around. I don't know why that I was so susceptible or whatever, I don't know if I was. I mean, I was susceptible enough. Wound up catching it. And so to briefly describe that whole ordeal, basically it seemed like it lasted a little bit less than a week. I'm not sure, like 4 or 5 days, something. And it's kind of typical, as you might imagine. You feel like you have very, very nauseous stomach to the point where you're in pain. And I don't know what all people feel during these sort of things, but personally, very, very nauseous, extremely nauseous. It's painful. Okay. And it's so painful that perhaps that's what causes your body to go into like some sort of shock or something. I noticed, for example, you get cold chills and your blood ain't circulating the way that you would like it to. And so therefore your hands and fingers get tingly, not exactly numb, but tingly and cold, and your feet very, very uncomfortable. And I can't really tell you. It lasted the better part of a week. But and so I called into work for an entire week. It's bad for my pockets. Bad for the pockets. And I had to do it. It's not something that I would, oh, let me enjoy, I'll just kick it and enjoy myself, Since I got this stomach flu and it's going to be just me kicking it. No, it's not what happened. I did want to go to work because of the money issue, but it wasn't possible. Okay. So the next week I wound up going to work because I got to, right? People need money. But however, I was still experiencing difficulties to the point where it's quite confusing. I was wondering why, and it was like I was getting better, how you recover and stuff, and then I would like fall back, and it would come back. It'd be like, oh gosh, you're like all messed up, and you get those symptoms that come and creeping back. And it would last, I don't know, 2 3 hours or something, and then I would maybe finally hopefully get over it. The sunshine I don't know if this is for everybody, but the sunshine was actually making me feel better. It's causing me to feel better, get more healed. Every time the night came around, sunshine gone, now I'm in a bad spot. Now the symptoms are hitting me more. Now it's like I'm cold and stuff and I'm shivering, and I shouldn't be shivering. So, long story short, I'm not a smart guy. A lot of people have called me smart before. They are liars and they're wrong. I'm not very smart, and with some help of some people, shout out to my one of my practitioners. All right, she knows who she is. She gave me some help. She gave me some advice. Piece of her advice, you see right now, was to drink liquid yogurt. I knew that liquid yogurt existed, and I could kind of sense the purpose behind it. It's like yogurt, but if on the go and you want to sip it, you don't want a spoon. You don't want to be all thick. You want it to be like sipping it. I don't know why. I never really messed with it too much. So sometimes I would drink kefir or kefir. I don't know how. But I mean, that's basically liquid yogurt right there. This is even more liquidy. Even more liquidy. And it's very enjoyable. This one right here, I don't know if you can read backwards, but it says blueberry liquid yogurt. Blueberry. So I kind of perhaps would have came across this conclusion myself, but I needed some help. And so I just happened to be talking to my practitioner, and she said, look, there's a good chance that you caught this whatnot, and it messed up your insides real bad. I mean, damaged them, physically damaged your insides, your stomach lining, perhaps your intestinal lining or something got damaged real bad. It's now you go to eat, you're going to eat certain things. It's like it's rubbing across your wounds. And when it rubs inside your internal wounds, it ain't going to be pleasant. And your symptoms going to come back and everything. And this is the reason why you're not getting over it, why it keeps haunting you. It's probably the reason. She gave me some pointers. Liquid yogurt, number one. But of course, be very wary of anything that causes friction down there. Like, for example, I have sourdough bread in the refrigerator. It's actually not very good. I like HEB's sourdough bread better. Got it from a bakery and stuff, but like I thought it was gonna be real good. It's like kind of good. The texture alone of it will rock your freaking world because it's gonna scratch up your insides if your insides are not healed properly. So different things, various things like that. All right, so I wound up getting over it, especially after the advice started taking her advice to heed, and I was heeding it. And sure enough, since that day and on, feeling better and better and better, and 100% even. I'm still over here drinking the yogurt. Why? Because it's a great idea, right? I don't know exactly how I got in such a way in which I caught this or stomach flu, but it does make sense to always be considering your gut biome. And I know it sounds like voodoo and stuff, even to me. I'm like, oh, what's going on in there with the gut biome and everything? Do I have to always consider it? Yeah, you do. It's a great idea. Because you might find yourself like myself, getting yourself into a situation that's like real poor. And perhaps you could have avoided it by concentrating on your nutrition. Your gut biome is really a thing. Fermented foods really are a thing. This yogurt really is a thing that will help you. Maybe, perhaps. I can't guarantee it, but it helps a whole bunch of people. Hmm. So, I wound up living and surviving. And I want to mention too that also I have a good acquaintance, friend, whatever you call it, over the internet. We've known each other for quite some time, and he let me know that he's going through a thing as well, but he's going through a thing that's long. So it's like 2022 or something like that is what he was saying, if I remember correctly, like a long time, chronic, bad stuff, and I forget all what was, and I'm gonna have to reread the comment. Can't do it right now, but talking about like nausea or something going wrong in the internal, really messing him up. He was telling me about it, and I'm gonna reread it and find out exactly what he was saying. But it sounded kind of bad. It sounded real bad. He said, he says, I feel real bad a lot. In fact, all the time. And I've been feeling it chronically for a couple some odd years. Now that, like, I read that and I gotta let you know that, like most human beings probably, you feel bad. You be like, oh man, I read that and I felt bad. Even though I was feeling bad at the time. I was feeling terrible. Okay. But I saw the comment that he had left, my man, and it sounded pretty bad too. And what I would like to say about that is, of course, I am a dumb person. But even if I wasn't dumb, if I was real smart or something, chances are that I would not have what it takes to save my man or like help him or get him out of this position that he's in. I don't know how he got there. I don't know how to get him out. All right, technically speaking, right? Because I don't know. I'd have to know more about your life and your day to day, what you're eating, and all this to even get an idea. I have no idea. I have zero idea. And so I definitely want to refrain from seeming like I think I have any idea what would help. I don't. But I did want to talk about it, because it is pretty important. I don't know which one I want to mention first, but I guess I'll mention this. While I was sick like a dog, miserable, couldn't focus, definitely couldn't go to work, had to go broke, you know, laying around until I get too cold and then maybe taking a hot bath out of desperation because I'm so cold and I'm so nauseated. Hot baths actually feel real good when you're doing that, when you're in such a way. It was miserable. And there was plenty of moments during that, you know, experience in which, I thought to myself, maybe this won't end. I don't know about y'all, but like last year, for example, what just happened right now with the stomach flu, for example, sometimes I get into a certain way, and then if I'm like in such a bad way for a week and for even longer than that, but is in my mind, you can't help but wonder what the f, and am I gonna ever get better? It's like, dude, I've food poisoned myself, and I've had stomach issues before. They don't last a whole freaking week. What's going on? And am I ever get out of this? Am I gonna ever get out of this? Because here's the thing. Sometimes you don't. And I hear about it. I've heard about it so many times. Like, okay, sometimes you get to feeling bad for whatever reason, something happened to you. When am I gonna get to feeling better? And the answer is never, never. Gonna always feel bad until the end or whatnot. A lot of people, their lives have ended that way. And so that's like a reality that's a possibility. And I had to think to myself, it's a possibility that this is the very end, and I'm gonna just slowly die a miserable death. That's possible. But also, I got it, and it's not to brag, and I'm not bragging. I don't mean for it to sound like I'm bragging. But there was moments as well, maybe those same exact moments when I thought to myself, um, thank God, basically, thank God. So it already came to this conclusion well before I got sick. Is that we don't realize that as human beings, we don't understand completely what's going on, but it's after the fact. A lot of times you could look back on your curses, on your very, very, very bad times, if you will. And there's people who have said it before. It's like you got to count those times, the bad times, the painful times, the times when it's just like you're crying out. You gotta count those as joy. You gotta count that as a blessing. So probably to most of the world, that's all gobbledygook and blah. I really don't know the percentage, but there's probably plenty of people, especially in America, who that's not how it would go. Or they don't think about stuff like that, or maybe they get in a situation and perhaps they'll curse God. I've heard of that before. I just remember thinking like, okay, this could very well be the end, and if it is so, I'm freaking miserable and I'm dying and everything. But thank God, because this misery, it's misery like this just couldn't last. I'm gonna die if this carries on and goes any further. And after I die, well, I won't have to worry about pain or anything like that. It's not like I'm killing myself. I'm trying to live here, right? Thank God for it. And I wasn't happy about it. I didn't say, "Oh, thank you, God." No, I feel really great about the misery that I'm in. I was still miserable, but thank God, because here's the thing: I was miserable, knowing full well that in the very, very, very near future, this misery that I'm going through couldn't be afforded. Couldn't be afforded. Imagine if and when, and it will, the economy break down, chaos, this and that, all restructuring. Oh, you're gonna have to figure out how to get every single thing in your life that you used to be able to get. Well, now you're gonna have to figure out another way, perhaps. So if you get into a very sick state amongst chaos, that's probably that's probably even worse, to be honest. Oh, you can't even get the medicine. Oh, what are you gonna go? Gonna go to the hospital? Nah. Gonna go to the med clinic? I don't know. Is anybody there? I don't know. So it's like, oh, thank God, at least when I'm falling out and dying, that I'm doing it right now. When people can help me, at least a little bit. Thank God for it. And I'm not just to. I think anybody could go just be miserable. You're miserable. Admit it. Feel like you're dying. You don't know why. It's not of human nature to thank God in that moment. Just isn't. And then you think about the story of Job, for example. That's probably the story that everybody thinks about. Job. Job went through all this stuff, and he didn't. It's like he didn't throw away God, even though a lot of people say, "Hey, man, why don't you throw away your God? Ain't helping you. Your God ain't helping you, Job. You need to like give it up." He said, "No." He said, "He said no. He'll never do it." And then, of course, at the end of the story, he gets all whatever his life back, and even better. This next after that, and maybe every story doesn't turn out like the story of Job, but in retrospect, I really couldn't even tell you what would be a good reason to curse God. Oh, because you're in misery, because you're so sick. Is that a good reason? Because if you ever get better, are you going to continue to curse God, or are you going to like change your mind? I don't really don't see no point to it. So the experience that I wound up having, I got to let you know. Um, at the at the expense of maybe sounding a little bit magical or mystical or whatever, When I did finally turn it around with the advice of my practitioner, when I did finally start turning it around, I noticed something about myself. And I don't want to like just put this in stone and say, oh, I'm like freed or whatever. But I noticed this stuff about myself. Like after I was sick, I started to feel normal. That is to say, not good, not bad, neither one, just neutral. And I recalled as I was sick, different multiple times in which I thought to myself, thank God for all this, and I'm miserable, but I was like, if I ever make it back to zero, to neutral, not even feeling good, just not feeling absolutely miserable, if I ever get back to zero, I'm gonna be ecstatic. I'm gonna be on top of the freaking world because this is so devastating that I can't even consider anything else. I remember thinking that multiple times. And then when I did start to finally get to start feeling neutral, just nothing, sure enough, I was thrilled. That's the thing about it. I was thrilled. And I could still feel it that I'm thrilled about it. And I hope to God that I don't lose it. Because that's the thing, a lot of people I know for a fact are out there. A lot of people. And they're at zero, they're at neutral, they're not doing too bad. They're not feeling in misery physically. And yet and still they find some reason or another to get depressed. It's terrible because they're and I've been there, everybody's been there. You're not really considering the fact is you're not in total physical misery right now. And just the fact that you're not in total physical misery right now is enough. You should be celebrating, dude. You should be like jumping up in the air for joy. Even if you don't feel good, if you feel zero, if you feel nothing, you should be just ecstatic and just dancing for some reason. But that's not how we think. That's not how I think. That's not how humans think. I still have it. I still have this feeling of I'm thrilled because I remember it's fresh in my head how miserable it was. I couldn't think about nothing else. But I'm still thrilled about it. I thank God for that. I hope I don't lose that at all because we usually do. We usually do lose that gratefulness. The gratefulness for nothing at all, anyways. So there's things that I enjoy, just like everybody enjoys things here and there, right? Like there's food, and I like food. And I still like food, but it's like I don't need that much food. I can go a long time without food. I can eat a little tiny amount of food, and that's fine. That's very satisfying. I'm very satisfied by it. And I want to like articulate this and know that I'm not bragging. I'm not. After I got better this like a week ago or something, um, I'm just satisfied, very satisfied. I don't talk about it very much because I don't like endorsed things. Like, dude, we all like little things that we like. I'm not out here to tell you, oh, I like this thing and you should do it, or oh man, people should do it. So I don't talk about it very much. But for example, I like nicotine. I do. I like nicotine. And a while back, I stopped smoking tobacco, and I got on these nicotine pouches. This is a while back. The nicotine pouches, what the kids do, the upper lip. It's real good. Just it's like I don't. I've cut way back on that. I'm not trying to even cut back. It's just like, I don't care. I don't care. I take half the nicotine that I did before. It's like it's satisfying. I'm satisfied. Just even with a little tiny little bit, I'm satisfied. I like the. I don't like to endorse it, but I like the THC gummies. I used to smoke, but haven't smoked really in a long time. So I gave it up. Even the gummies. Even the gummies. I cut that back by at least half. Not even trying. Why? Because I just feel so satisfied, anyways. It's like I might as well take half. It's like, or maybe I just won't even. I don't even bother with it, and it doesn't matter because I don't even feel good. I feel zero. I feel exactly neutral, not good or bad, and I'm freaking thrilled by it. And I'm not bragging to say that. It's just, wow, it seems as though God has blessed me just right now. I don't know. I could be tripping. But like ever since I kind of got over this stomach thing, it's like God's blessed me with satisfaction. Just like I'm much easier satisfied. And I thank God for that. I don't know how long that'll last. Hopefully it lasts. So one thing okay, uh, I can't really relate to people who have chronic issues, you know, because I personally don't have chronic anything, but I've been through some stuff and it's been pretty painful. And you probably already know, like, and it wasn't a cakewalk for me. Well, I have no things chronic, and I really couldn't give you like chronic advice. That's what I'm saying. It's like if there's someone who I know, and I've known multiple people and stuff who have chronic things going on with them, and I would seem like a real jerk if I even pretended like, oh, just listen to me and I can fix it. I can fix your problem. Probably not. But I want to put this out there real quick. Okay. And it's like in your time when you would like, and I'm talking to anybody, you got a situation, maybe it's chronic. It's like maybe the doctors can't figure it out. Maybe even the different doctors, they can't figure it out. Unfortunately, what I'm suggesting is that it's really up to you to figure it out. And it's like, dude, I'm not smart either. I can't, I'm not, I'm not a smart guy, right? So, but over maybe 10 years ago, probably, I mean, it was a long time ago, I heard this man and I listened to him a lot back then. And honestly, I need to like find out what he's doing right now because he was always very good to listen to. There was this guy, and I'm sure he's still around and I'm sure he's in like perfect health right now. I'm going to have to Google it, but his name is Ben Fuchs, and I wonder if anybody's heard of him out there. Ben Fuchs, and it's printed out. It's spelled Fuchs, I believe. Fuchs. He's not like very famous, but he's pretty well known. And he had a lot of advice to give because like his specialty was in was it biochemistry basically, the chemistry of how living things actually work. Like those people, biochemists, will tell you an ocean of things that a doctor cannot tell you that has no idea about. So biochemistry, that's the thing right there. But a long time ago, he said, people want to get into good health and stuff, man. It's like, okay, I'll give you some advice, and you take it or leave it or whatnot. If you want to get into good health, and I'm going to put out basically what he said, what I heard him say back then. He said, soups and smoothies. Soups and smoothies. And I heard it, and this was over 10 years ago. Never ever forgot it. And I never implemented it either. Because like I like solid food and stuff like that. And I used to never even eat soup. Like I was never big on soup at all, ever. When growing up, I never ever. Someone put soup in front of me, I was just like, "What is this water garbage? Get it out of here! I want a hamburger." Stuff like that. But all right, soups and smoothies is what he said, and the reason he said that is because when you really think about it, soups, smoothies. What's the deal with soups and smoothies? They're very, very easy to digest. Number one, like if you have stomach damage or intestinal damage in there, certain foods are going to slide on down and it ain't going to feel very good. And I will mention that I've known multiple people, especially young people, who they like have serious stomach issues, chronic stomach issues. And I don't know, but I'm like, okay, hypothetically, and I'm not trying to tell these people who I've talked to before. It's like they would tell me about their stomach issues, their chronic stomach issues, and part of me wanted to say, "Hey, how about you stop eating poison every day? Because you're eating it every day, constantly, always poison, low grade poison." And you know what I'm talking about, fast food and this and that. And oh, everybody's like, "Oh, fast food, it's not good for you. I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad girl. I go and I eat fast food and I'm bad. And you're not supposed to, and blah, blah, blah." Whether or not you're supposed to, oh, you think you're all bad and stuff, it's low grade poison. You're going to die. That's what it's meant to do. The food that you're eating out there at fast food restaurants, if anything, that's emergency food in case if you might be dying, starving to death, then go ahead and eat it. The food you get at the hospital, the food you get out in public, if you're about to die of starvation, go ahead and eat it. Yeah, it'll work. Yeah. If you're just out and about and eating it and stuff, and you think there's nothing wrong with that, you're low grade poisoning yourself all day, every day, and turning around asking doctors why that is, or how is there a pill you could take because you're diverticulitis? Is there some sort of pill? No, stop eating poison every fucking day. And I don't know, but I can assume that these people who I've known before, their gut biome is fucked. It's been shot long time ago. They tried these little probiotics, garbage probably that they bought at the store, worthless garbage that they bought. Popped it a few times, nothing happened, and they're like, "Oh, I'm still feeling bad." And they're eating like chili dogs and stuff. They're like, "I still feel bad with diverticulitis." It's like you're fucking killing yourself, and nobody can help you. You're complaining about doctors and stuff. You're just gonna have to deal with chronic stomach problems, buddy. You don't give a shit about your gut biome and everything. That's what I would want to tell those people, but I never really did. Just kind of laughed. And maybe I shouldn't or whatnot, but these people, it's like, dude, do you really need me to tell you what you're eating is low grade poison? You're never ever gonna like research it at all. You're just gonna be like, "Hey, I need a pill to pop to make it where I don't feel like I'm dying on the inside." All right. So there is the avoiding. Trust me when I say, if you don't know why all these foods that you're eating are so bad for you, and you want to know, let me tell you, you're dumb. You're really dumb. But also, just ask me. Ask me why. Tell me what you're eating. I'm gonna tell you why it's slowly killing you, and you're volunteering for it. You know, for those people out there with those problems, there's probably people out there with chronic problems. In fact, there's definitely out there people with chronic problems who is deeper than just fast food. Maybe they're avoiding fast food. Maybe like they're just taking care to like make all their own food because it's such a big problem and stuff. It still doesn't fix their chronic stuff. I'm not a doctor. I couldn't help you. I couldn't help you at all about that at all. But one thing that I can say, and I bet you it really does work. And I got experience, especially this past week with it being very, very, very careful what I eat because depending on what I was eating could throw me into misery yet again. I had to be very careful. One thing that I heard, and I probably heard from Ben Fuchs, but I've heard it from other people. It's like sometimes people have problems, chronic problems of this or that, and they're told by certain allergists or whoever to this is what you got to do. This is what, and y'all probably heard this before, but I want to establish that I totally endorse this as well. First of all, soups and smoothies, because of their consistency, it's going to be a lot more easier to digest. That's what you want. That's what I needed when I had stomach damage and whatever. I needed it to be very, very easy to digest. Soups and smoothies pull that off. More so, I was on soups, but I'm gonna start incorporating smoothies and some more of this liquid yogurt. So, the advice it's like if you got chronic problems, and I've heard this from Ben Fuchs, pick one thing, pick one food, pick one, only one, just one. And it's like if you want to like get, say, if it was your one thing was bananas, and you want to put some honey on it, if you want, you could do that. So maybe that's two things. Don't do, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying do one thing because if you eat one thing, let's say it's only bananas, um, keep doing that for a few days. See if your chronic issues dissipate or start to dissipate. What that would hint to me, and I'm just saying, like, I'm not, maybe I'm telling you something you already know. What that would hint to me is that there's something in your diet that is causing you these issues and you don't realize it. And maybe bananas is not it, so it's not causing you those issues. Same thing could be said for fasting. And these are very scary ideas for a lot of people. These are ideas that scare me when I hear them. That's how I know that they're scary. It's the first time I heard people talking about fasting. It's like, dude, I came up with not much money and stuff. It's like, dude, whenever I get access to food, I'm gonna eat it. How my mentality works. And so when people started telling me, oh, what about fasting? I was like, what? You're purposefully not eating. And it's just, I couldn't, it's like, I was like, I'm not ready for all this. I'm not ready for this. It was way back when I first heard people talking about fasting. Since then, I've like really kind of like enlightened myself to the benefits of intermittent fasting, for example. I've never really fasted like, oh, let me go fast for like a week and blah blah blah. No, no. I'm gonna eat today, probably. So intermittent fasting is what I kind of took up here and there. I mean, not lately, not recently, because I was trying to gain weight, and therefore I was eating a whole bunch of food, which honestly, that was not a good idea. And I didn't gain any weight because all the weight that I gained, I've already lost it. It's already gone. So, anyways, fasting, that's scary to people. People get scared. It's like, oh, I can do it. Like, for example, I know the pleasure. Nobody knows the pleasure of food more than myself. Not more than me, no. It's very pleasurable. All right, so it could be very scary if someone says, "Why? What about fasting or whatnot?" And you'd be like, "Oh man, I don't even think that's possible. Like, that can't be it. That can't be the answer. How would I live? Or who knows? All what would come to your mind. You could easily live. That's the thing about it. Like the other day, for example, when I was real, real sick, when I first got sick, I didn't eat for 2.5 days, And the thing is, I wasn't exactly trying. Hold on one second. I had to turn my stove off, but I wasn't trying to not eat. I was just not eating. Like I was just disgusted by the idea of food for about 2.5 days. Okay, so it's like that's just an example. Your body can go days and days without eating. And people like myself, it's hard to convince us sometimes that that's the case. It is the case. You can go days and days and days without eating, especially if you're fat. If you're fat, go a month without eating. You'd be surprised. You think, oh, you're gonna fall over and die. Not really. You're gonna be very tired. You're not gonna be able to do too like much activity, not too much, but you're gonna live because all your fat, your body's gonna start eating it. And so, okay, that's why I bring it up because how many people have really tried that? Say if they're in a chronic situation, especially with their digestion. What if you just fasted for a few days? What if you fast for 2 or 3 days and then you find your symptoms clearing up? Then what does that mean? The only reason why I'm bringing all this up, these are my only ideas that I could throw at it, is that in my mind, and I realize I don't live with something chronic, but in my mind, even if none of the doctors can't figure it out and everybody's just like a total mystery, in my mind, whatever chronic thing that you got, if you or if I had a chronic thing, if I truly wanted to know and truly wanted to get to the bottom of it and truly made that my number one priority, I feel like you're going to find the answer. You're going to find it. But people lots of times probably just submit or resign to like being like, oh, I got a thing wrong with me. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just miserable and I get miserable and it's whatever. It's like it might be. Maybe you're permanently miserable to all the people out there who's dealing with chronic things. Or maybe there's one thing and you don't know what it is. Maybe you're doing it to yourself. You don't know. How would you know unless, for example, you fasted? How would you know unless, for example, you ate only one thing and nothing else just to see what would happen? How would you know? How do the doctors know? They don't know. I don't know. It's a mystery, but who's going to figure it out? Oh no. Um, that's what I wanted to say as far as uh, being in misery, perhaps being chronically miserable. I think that there's hope. I think that there's hope, but really, it's like nobody's coming to save you, and perhaps nobody's like equipped to save you. Perhaps we all need to be Sherlock Holmes upon our own bodies. And I'm still trying to figure out stuff, but I feel like I've gotten some pretty good advice, some pretty dang good advice, and people are very helpful that way. And I thank people out there for helping me through my journey, telling me stuff that they might have thought, well, maybe I shouldn't say this because maybe maybe he already knows this. No, I don't. I don't know it. I'm dumb as hell, and I might have heard it before, and I might already know it, but you still even have to remind me. Hey, what about liquid yogurt? What about you gotta build your gut biome? You gotta it's like, dude, sometimes I need help. And I just want to throw out those ideas for people out there. And like I talked about before, and alluded to, just to close out, 'cause I don't want to be here all night. I got to get some good rest. Everybody should be out there getting good rest. This things like chronic stomach issues, even more so. I hear about, like, dude, if I had $1 No cap. If I had $1 for every just Tom, Dick, and Harry, and anybody, Sally, whoever has come up to me in my life and told me without asking how tired they are, how so tired that they are. Oh my God. Ah, bro, I'm so tired. Uh, at work, at school, at everywhere, always. How tired. You look at my life and judge whether or not I'm successful or in whatever factor. But one thing that I can say for whatever reason, and I thank God about it, is I get rest. I go to I don't even, I go to sleep and I just go to sleep and I sleep until like when I want to wake up, it's like, dude, I go to sleep however many hours I think it'll take for me to not be tired when I wake up. I don't know if you get what that means, or if maybe that's very, very simple. I try to sleep as much as I think it'll take for me to operate well the next day. And I know it's like there's people out there, they don't think about that for 1 second. They don't think about it. All they think about is for whatever reason they gotta be up at night. They gotta be up at night. Something going on at night, and they gotta be up for it. All right. And so they go to sleep late and then they wake up early because maybe they got a job. And it's like, then they're like all tired to the point is that they tell me about how tired they are. And it's like, I don't know, like, if I'm a math genius or whatnot, I just try to sleep to hours. It's like, dude, there's nothing happening at night that's so important and interesting that I won't find out later. I'm gonna just go to sleep. And it's like, I'm over here saying this out of my mouth, and I feel like I'm just talking nonsense. It's like, yeah, of course, go to sleep, but no, 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 can't go to sleep, can't go to sleep. And mind you, a lot of these people will come at me, and if I ask them, "Hey, dude, what's wrong with you? Why the f can't you just go to sleep?" Lots of times their reasoning will probably be all the stuff that they have to do, and that they're so busy. And I can't even argue with that. I just step back and say, "Yeah, you are so busy. You're very busy. You don't have time to sleep." To me, it's a travesty, but of course, I'm not judging people sleep however much you want. But to me, it's a travesty because you don't get enough sleep to operate well, and then you don't operate well. So if anybody's depending on you, yeah, you're getting it done. Yeah, it's true, and they're depending on you and stuff, but you're not operating at your max potential. You ain't getting no good sleep. It's like, wow, it's like a trade-off. People always trade away their sleep, and to me, it messes up their potential or whatever. I don't know. It's not like I'm reaching my entire potential right now, right? But however, I can tell you when I wake up, I am awake for whatever it's worth. I'm awake when I get to work. I am awake, and I really can't say that about other people. So, anyways, I already thought to myself, I need to get up out of here. But I will mention, and it's more obviously important than all this sickness talk that I was talking. I don't know who keeps popping in and out of the building, but for whoever is popping in and out of the building, I do want to close off by mentioning is at the end, like what the title of this video was. I want to have a conversation with like I don't know, two people, three perhaps in the world about what I want to talk about right now before we get up out of here. But it's like we gotta. People are so busy that you really gotta make time in order to meet up and connect and have a decent conversation. I gotta get my car fixed, number one, which is gonna get fixed real quick. All right, I'm coming upon the money to do it, and I need to get it fixed. And that way, I can get around town and have these personal conversations. What I'm talking about. But the question is it the end? It's kind of a vague question, but I feel like you kind of know what I mean. People might ask, well, is it the end of internet content? Who would miss it? All right. Like a handful of y'all, God bless y'all and stuff, but no, it's not the end of internet content necessarily. I wanted to do this live stream on Rumble actually, but it's that much more simpler to do it on YouTube, and that's why I did it on YouTube. I didn't have much time. I would have made this live stream actually days and days ago, but the thing is, every single day, I just keep running out of time. It's like I got time for everything else, but not the live streaming. And it's not like I'm trying to avoid the live streaming. I don't got no time. It's like there's certain days when it's like, okay, maybe I'll jump on a live stream, but if I did, I'm cutting into my sleep time. And unfortunately or fortunately or whatever, I don't want to cut into my sleep time, so I'll put it off. And to me, it's a lose-lose situation because I'd rather articulate these thoughts out of my mouth and just be done with it instead of thinking about it and rolling around in my head and wanting to talk about it. Oh, maybe I'll talk about it 2 days from now. And in the meantime, I just got to think about it in my head and hope I don't forget all what I'm thinking about. I don't enjoy that either. Right. So, um, I do got to make a little bit more time, and I actually plan to make more time. I got 2 jobs right now. One of these jobs, I gotta talk to them real quick. And say, I don't want to work. I don't want to work no more. And the reason is because, okay, so let me. Some of y'all might know, but I'll clue y'all in. I got 2 jobs, and they're both very close by. So I don't have to necessarily worry about my car. I do have to get the car fixed, but I've been able to go to work both places even without the car. And it doesn't take too much time. I got alternate transportation. Let me just tell you, it doesn't take much time, man. But I zip about to my works, right? And that's not a big problem. The reason why I need to talk with the other job and let them know, like, I don't want to come to work. Dude. Like, I just don't want to come. Get someone else to do it. And the reason is because, yeah, I go to that other second job and I get money. Yeah, money's good, but if we're being objective and we're being realistic, I with the 2 jobs, I barely make enough money to pay my bills and perhaps fix my car, like for after 3 or 4 weeks of it sitting around. Like that's how much money I make. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to complain about it because I don't really know complainers, but I just want to put it like that is the amount of money. So I could barely not even I can't get my car fixed instantaneously. No, nothing like that. I can only barely pay my bills. I can't pay all my bills, but I pay the ones I can pay. That's what 2 jobs gets me. It's like, okay, well, fuck that. That's my mentality because fuck that. It's like, why don't I just have 1 job and have even less money? But see, then that'll free up my time a little bit more. And in my free time, I could whatever live stream if I wanted to, or figure out better ways of making money. Right? Because I'm just spinning my wheels over the second job. It's like, okay, yeah, it's good and industrious to get the second job so that I can barely make it by anyways. That doesn't make any sense. Right? So that is what I plan to do to kind of free up some more time here in the very near future. And that way I can get on live streams and communicate with y'all better. I know Matrix Mark's over there on X and stuff, man. I want to go on X and hang out and do things over there. And it's like, but I need to free up my time a little bit. And also, I can't even pay my bills. So might as well free up the time. All right. So, but here's the thing: I'm a microcosm, just like you're a microcosm. Before we get up out of here, um, the macro lesson in all this is, oh yeah, we might be struggling. Oh, I know people make more money than me, and they're like living decent. They buy nice things, but they are not exactly. We're in the same boat. I'm like, it's like I'm kind of barely making it by, but y'all are also kind of barely making it by and stuff. That's that's fine. Like, dude, our people have for decades now been like just barely making it by and not even tripping very hard. Not even tripping very hard. But especially why I think I want to free up my time is, and I've said this, like, and the folks I run with on the internet, most of them already know this isn't rhetoric. I'm not trying to be shocking or whatever. I'm really not trying to freak people out. I actually encourage people to like calm down and don't freak out. Um, but it's the end, dude. Like it is the end. And if you don't understand that, then you must be trying to not understand that. But I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that. If you're trying to not understand it, most people don't understand it. So good. I can't judge you for that. But here's the thing: the end. We're at the end. You know, we've gotten ourselves in such a way, say like the United States, and people know that it's bad and the people know that it's going to get worse, but I think most people think that, oh, we'll turn it, it's going to turn itself around or it'll get turned around and we'll somehow ease back into close to normal, or like inflation's going to somehow undo itself or some like, and okay, like people, I know that there's people out there who I know personally who think that they're going to retire. Oh, they're going to retire soon, or like they this and that. They know that infrastructure is going to be there. They know their family's going to keep going on. They know like they're gonna see their grandbabies one day. It's like all these things, dude. None of the evidence. Like I'm looking at all the evidence for years now. For years now, I'm like waiting on evidence to prove wrong that this is the mother effing end, dude. I don't know how we get past this. And there might be people out there who are like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about? We'll pull through. What is it? We always pull through." This we always pull through. Oh, United States of America, we always pull through is so short lived already. It's like really only a speck of time. This always and forever thing that you're talking about, how it's always going to be around. We've barely been around not very long already. And it's like, I'm not a genius, but correct me if I'm wrong. Our government doesn't give a damn about what we say. In fact, they only care what we say enough is to hear it so that they could do the exact opposite. That's the only thing they care about, what we say. And like, they don't give a damn about what we say. And in fact, they've brainwashed at least half of anybody who I see to like it. Like to want to go against their own self-interest. And this has been the case for as long as I've been living here in America. But I mean, if I had to, it's like pretty obvious. I shouldn't even have to bring it up. But so our government who's been accused over many decades of doing very nefarious things behind the scenes, the CIA, et cetera, et cetera. They're very, very aligned with Israel, and oh, I might be a bad person, or maybe I'm not a bad person, or I just don't even know anymore. But it's like objectively, without my emotions in this, it seems, and I'm hearing from everywhere, that Israel is, by definition, a terrorist state and are carrying out terrorist activities everywhere. And to my knowledge, I cannot dispute that. It does seem like they're terrorizing different parts of the world. And we're cool with that. Oh, supposedly we're cool with that. Our government's definitely cool with that. They love it. They love all that. And I'll have you know, I don't. Oh, are you an anti-Semite? Whatnot? I don't give a damn, and they should do their own thing. There's some terrorists, and I don't have nothing to do with. I do not endorse what the hell they're doing. I don't know why that they're doing that. People might turn around and say, "Oh, you know, America, they done bad things." Yeah, I bet you this fucking government has done some bad things. I don't endorse that either. Real quickly, and I said it before. A lot of people are they're of the mindset, and I've been told that the world needs war. Our economies would all come crumbling down if we didn't have war, constant war going on in the world. And if we weren't making money off the wars, then we everything would just screech to a halt, and that's how the economy works. I never ever believed that, and I never ever will believe that. Y'all are all some fucking liars. And some of y'all seem like hungry for war, especially a war that you can't see that you're not going to be a part of, and you want to support it so bad. And I don't believe it. I never believed it for 1 second. I think if you stop all wars in the world, it won't do shit to the economy. In fact, it probably makes the economy better. Oh, but some people just they don't want to believe it. They love war so much. They love it so much. It's to my knowledge unnecessary. And I've heard plenty of experts out there that they also say it is unnecessary. And in fact, it's only bad for us. It's only bad for poor people always in these wars, always getting murked. There's people over there in Palestine just getting murked left and right. Oh no, it's bad for us, but it's good for somebody. For some reason, for somebody out there keeps benefiting from it. And so that's why we gotta keep doing it. Nah. See, okay, the Ukraine, let's stand with the Ukraine. We gotta stand with them. Just make sure to send them money and fucking just send them all our tax money and we'll fucking volunteer money and just keep throwing money. So long as you don't have to go to Ukraine and die like a dog like all those Ukrainians are dying. Oh, there's all sort of people from different Western nations. They're dying over there too. Why don't you go die like a dog in Ukraine? Because you stand with Ukraine so much. I stand with Jesus. That's my older brother. People probably freak out. People probably say, burn him at the stake. He said Jesus, his older brother. Burn him at the stake. He must be, this is blasphemy, they would say. This is blasphemy. It's like, Jesus clearly told me that he's my older brother. And people are really, they're missing the whole, his message, I guess you would say. It seems like they're missing his message, anyways. And I don't think he'd be cool with all these wars. I don't think Jesus be like, oh, well, we got to keep doing these wars because how else would the economy keep going? Or we wouldn't be able to do technology or without the wars. So, United States has sent tens and tens, hundreds of billions of dollars to the Ukraine. You might say that we're affiliated with them. You might say that. You might say the Ukraine's doing all sort of terrorist activity to include at that mall in Moscow. That was terrorist activity, and we're linked to that. We're linked to two separate different countries carrying out terrorism all over the world, and everybody knows it. It's like, what? Okay, rampant crime is exploding all in America. So somehow, like, there's oceans of confused, blob-like teenagers who don't know their ass from any other hole in the ground. It's like, okay, and we got to get up out of here, but it's like, okay, half of marriages here in America and in divorce, half of the ones that continue are absolutely miserable, and it's really retarded. And the woman, she like is the boss, and the man is over there, and he's like cowering, and he's all on OnlyFans and stuff like this is how it's going down, but we can't even make babies. I don't know in what kind of reality you think that this is we're going to continue on anywhere close to normal. Any number of absurd possibilities could come forth, but as I've mentioned before, and until it changes, I'm going to have to repeat, the plan is, and I didn't conjure this up, I actually heard people talking about it, and I would go ahead and agree because it seems reasonable. The plan is to make America so hated, all like within, where we hate each other, or people absolutely hate America, want to bring it down from the inside. And we know these people, we see them all the time. They're everywhere. They would hate America from the inside, and also have America be hated from the outside. That just make it so easy to hate us because we're affiliated with all these countries who are savage, terrorist, homosexual pedophiles. All of them, the whole lot of them. Yeah, all of them, they all are. And so all these people, they don't want to get caught up to the point is that they'll create World War III. They already created it, and now they're just like itching to drop bombs. See, that's the plan. And there's a timeline. They're wanting to, okay, so currently they're having massive migration, and this is all over the world. This osmosis happening, and just thousands, hundreds of thousands everywhere you go are somehow displacing from poor and about to be dead, dying, to like on our doorstep or over there in Europe. Okay, you'll notice. Okay, they're all like it's a vacuum. We're sucking them all up, sucking them all up. And there's a timeline with this, so you notice that we're still sucking them up, and that needs to continue. That's not enough. It needs to be more sucked up. We need to suck up more people and more people. There's nothing stopping it. In fact, it's only getting encouraged because in these poor countries, they're fucking dying and they can't wait to get up out of there. They'll do anything to get up out of there. And the reason that they're dying is because of a hoax that was put on our economy by our government. Okay, so they're dying because of a hoax on everybody, and that's why they're dying. And they're coming here and they're like, please give us everything for free. That's what you said you would do. And then Joe Biden's like yeah, here's everything for free that I can give you. We gotta still suck them up here in America and in Europe. Why is that? Okay, we're hated, and every day, consistently, and it's not like something fun that people would want to think about a lot, but every single day we're closer to warfare here. Some people would say, "Oh, never, pish posh. We're too smart. We're too good. They can't even get past our iron dome of whatever that we probably got." All right, so this is how it's going to happen. Russia, for example, that's one example. There's different other factors to consider. Russia has a doctrine that says, or they have a law that says they cannot preemptively hit nobody with a nuke. And I want everybody to remember that. They have a law in place. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't break the law. I'm saying there's a law in place. And if you really stop to think about it, the law being in place is going to make it that much more difficult to actually do it. because all of you'd have to be able to finesse and finagle and get your way to be able to do it, even though that there's a law against it for Russia. It would take them that much more longer. The United States, you'll notice, as well as Israel, they don't have such a law. They do not have such a law. Meaning that if someone up and decided that they wanted to have a nuclear bomb, they don't have to wait for somebody else to drop a bomb. They could just preemptively do it because there's no law against it. You might say, oh, there's a law against starting wars without going through Congress. These people are savage criminals, and they've been breaking the law for decades and decades. I don't give a fuck. All right, these people don't give a fuck. And the thing is, they are guilty of everything that we know that they're guilty of. And they know that if they, and I'm talking about all of them, if they were to get caught up, they were really to get caught up, that's the end. That's the end for them. And they know it. So they'd rather that, they don't want the end for them. They'd rather have the end for everybody if that's the case. So the goal is, okay, make America so hated that, oh, a nuke bomb or a tactical nuke bomb comes from Russia and hit us. Oh, they hit us. Our government steps right up and they say, oh, we got to react. We got to react because they hit us. All right. Spoiler alert, they didn't hit us. Russia didn't hit us. When we get tactical nuke bombed, Russia did not do it. I promise. Oh, I hope that doesn't happen, but that's exactly what they want to have happen. We're sucking up all these immigrants, though. We need to suck up more because first of all, they're going to get tactical nuke bomb too. Fuck them, because that was the point. But also, okay, whatever doesn't get nuke bombed and not everybody's dead all up in America. Oh, now all these immigrants and y'all's economy is like at a dead halt because you just got tactical nuke bombed. Oh, like California or they got tactical nuke bombed our infrastructure. Oh, we gotta stop all these. I think the Russians did it. And whatever, like on the television or like coming in from the internet, they'll be like, it's damn certain that the Russians did this. Damn certain. So we're gonna go ahead and hit them. We're gonna try to hit them, and it's all done. And then whatever Russia is gonna have to do to try to like protect itself at that point, they might even have to nuke bomb DC or whatever. They're gonna nuke bomb some stuff. All right, but obviously people thought about this, or they think they thought about this. When they know when the nuke bomb, this tactical nuke bomb is going to hit us, oh, it's blamed on Russia. They already knew it. They're going to know about it, and they're going to get the hell out of Dodge. Those people, those knowing people with all that money that they got, they're going to know good and well to head to South America. So they think, oh, they're going to get out of most of this nuke bomb stuff. And they're going to let us worry about the nuke bomb. And I'm not talking about a long time from now. I just wonder how much immigrants we got to suck up first, and then we'll be primed and ready to go to get nuke bombed. We're itching to get nuke bombed. There's nothing stopping it, like in our laws. Maybe we should make a law that says we shouldn't nuke bomb anybody either. I don't know what the see. There's forces at play right now, but I don't know a different conclusion. They seem to want to be doing the tactical nuke bombs, and when that happens, what are we gonna do? Anyways, I gotta get up out of here. Oh, Hala, it's April the 3rd, 2020, 2024. I'll at y'all maybe some other time.